the United States, in Chicago. Through the Center for Leadership and Management, DePaul University offered a BA in Leadership and Management. And they would come here. On this stage, they would award the degrees. And some of us seated here are alumni of that program. So then, from the very word go, when the DePaul University entered into this affiliation with Tangaza University, they never intended to stay forever. And so they generously mentored faculty, local faculty here in Tangaza, so that they would adopt the beautiful methodology they were offering. Now I need to mention to you that DePaul University in Chicago, the very one who entered into this affiliation, was a university founded by the Vincentians. The Vincentians are the congregation of the missions, and we have representatives among us. Well, could the Vincentians wave so that people can see you and our connection with why we are celebrating St. Vincent de Paul? Yes, those are the Vincentians who have founded DePaul University, which was modeled under the leadership values which was emulated by St. Vincent de Paul. He was known for his dedication and service to the poor. To CLM now, CLM is the Center for Leadership and Management. St. Vincent de Paul has an added significance. The center anchors the core of her leadership training on the leadership orientations inspired by the life and the work of St. Vincent de Paul. And at once, the year 3 and 4 students will be familiar with what I'm about to say. These values are consisting in 4 orientations. The 4 orientations of mission, people, task, and service. And each of these orientations carries 3 competencies, making 12 competencies. And this is what we impart to our students at the core of their leadership training. And these competencies comprise vision, values, and innovation, inclusion, collaboration, and communication, commitment, pragmatism, and risk-taking. How many have I mentioned now so far? How many competencies? 9. Accompaniment, empowerment of people, and social justice. So those are 12 competencies St. Vincent de Paul emulated, which has been passed on to us by DePaul University, as the center anchors the values of leadership based on what the center acquired from DePaul University. Therefore, CLM takes it upon herself to instill and inspire these values in learners. I hope the learners who are present here will be able to confirm what I'm saying. And if you haven't encountered this, just hold on. You are about to encounter it. There is no way you can leave the Center for Leadership and Management without encountering these central values. Okay, we do hear comments in the compound that seems to suggest that the CLM students actually try their best to emulate some of these values. Thanks to you, CLM students, for trying to live the legacy of your patron saint, St. Vincent de Paul. In September 2023, the Center for Leadership and Management celebrated the Celemas initiative, and it was inspired by St. Vincent de Paul's example of commitment to the poor. The Celemas initiative, therefore, is an effort to mobilize local resources to enable CLM build the leadership capacity of capable but needy learners who want to study in order to be able to eventually contribute to the leadership and social transformation of their own society and environment. This is the legacy St. Vincent de Paul inspires in the Center for Leadership and Management, and that's why this is a very important day for us. We are celebrating it today on the 26th of September to enable all the students participate, because our diploma students are not in class on Saturday, which is tomorrow. That's when the actual day falls. So we are in a good place to celebrate this day today. Among us are some beneficiaries of Celemas local initiative, and I believe you will get to know more about them and hear more from them as the day progresses. So part of my job here is to welcome you, our guests, to this auspicious celebration of a saint who left behind a legacy the world cannot afford to ignore. We are delighted you have honored our invitation and chose to be part of this important celebration. May God bless you. God bless your presence here. Welcome one, welcome all. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, Sister Alice. That was very profound and also very informative. Indeed, what a legacy. And there is one line that I've picked from Sister, and this line is that St. Vincent left a legacy that cannot be ignored. Tell your neighbor, he left a legacy. Come on, you can do better. Tell him or her, he left a legacy that cannot be ignored. The big question is, and I don't want you to answer this, will it be said the same about you? That's the big question. Will it be said the same about you? Indeed, thank you so very much, sister. And indeed, that one has taken us so far, 365 years ago. Ask your neighbor, ulikuwa wapi? Ask your neighbor, where were you 365 years? Sasa mwachane na yeye, mwambie, where was your mom? If the mom was not there, muulize, where was your grandfather? Okay? This is beautiful that after 365 years, 2025, we are still celebrating this. Wow. Tell your neighbor, wow. You have to say with my bass, tell them, wow. You cannot fake that. All right, please let me stick to the program. And I'm very happy to see all of you, including my many lecturers in this room. And we have to go to the next category. And please allow me to call upon ourselves a PhD holder, an undergraduate and postgraduate program leader of CLM. And this is none other than Father Kobian Kiara. Let us appreciate Kiara, Father, because he's in the house. Come on, you can do better. Let us appreciate the gentleman as he comes on the stage to tell us what he has prepared. Karibu sana, Father. Asante.
Okay, they will reach you as we proceed. Okay, so just my interest here is just to show you a little bit of the courses which are offered under the Center of Leadership and Management, and what it costs, and also maybe how can you come in if you want to in a different ways. So as you see in the summary sheet there, we have about one certificate course, which you call it the Certificate Program on Leadership and Management. And this can be a very good beginning, either for those who are doing the leadership course for the first time, or even someone who has worked for a number of years and he wants to brush up a little bit of understanding of what leadership is, and he kind of have a base on the leadership program. So he can do a certificate, and this certificate runs for 2 semesters, 2 tri-semesters, and with that one is done. Then we have 2 diplomas. We have a diploma in business management and diploma in resource management, and also diploma in procurement, which is not active for the time being. Again, this is a diploma really which will give you a good grounding for business management, for resource management, and they can set a ground for further studies, like if you want to go for a BA, or someone want to go, either maybe someone is working and really he want to acquire particular skills in terms of resource management. So this really become quite handy, quite relevant. We have the latest kind of materials, the latest kind of skills, which really can help someone to be able to navigate in our modern world. Again, this diploma takes about 4 tri-semesters, which will be equivalent to about 1.5 years, because you do a tri-semester system. So you are able to cover 3 semesters in 1 year. Then we have a Bachelor of Leadership and Management. Now, this is offered in 2 ways. There are those, for example, like who have done a diploma here in leadership. They can just come in for 6 semesters. So within 2 years, they're able really to complete their first degree and exit with a relevant degree. But for those who are coming straight for this course, then they have to do 8 semesters. So it therefore runs for either 6 semesters or 8 semesters, depending on where someone is beginning. And then we have a new program. This is the BCom program. And I can see a number of students here. I meet them somewhere. This again is more focusing on the business, on management, a bit of accounts, and it has a number of focus areas, about 6 of them, and really is a program which has been designed in such a way like after finishing, someone will be able really to fit in different organizations. But at the same time, one can start his or her own business, and they can run very well and confidently. So we have it there. It runs for 8 tri-semesters. And that sense, like if someone is able to do all the tri-semesters, it means he can finish in about 2.5 calendar years. We have 1 master's for the time being, but few more are coming up. This is the Masters of Ethics and Organizational Leadership. And this began with a sense like, really we want leaders who are ethical, who can instill ethics in their management, in leading. And therefore, that's why here we really try to combine ethics and the leadership. Is normally offered as a full-time. It can be, someone can study a distance learning online and can be here also on site, and is offered only on Friday and Saturday. And therefore, it is quite a flexible program. Even if someone is working, can still do the same. The same apply for the Bachelor of Leadership and Management, is also offered on Friday and Saturday. The rest of the courses, someone can come study. If for good reasons he's not able to be in the campus, it's possible to study online, but come in for the exams. And it has been working perfectly well. So someone just have to be prepared and know which option you want to take. Now, if you look at the figures, which I don't want to go much into detail into that, you can see in each program indicated how much are you expected to pay per semester. So if you're directing someone, this really will be handy information for the person to know how much is expected to pay per semester. Again, here, like we know they what do you call it? They hard time sometimes. It's possible to negotiate and agree on how you are going to pay the fee, but at least before the end of the semester, you must have cleared the balance. And therefore, for me, I find like it's very possible for everybody to study, because that possibility is there. You can put aside little by little, and you're able really to clear the fee as it goes here. Maybe one thing I need to say there is that now, if, for example, you want to support someone, and you know, like the center is under the leadership of, and the patronage of Vincent, who was really concerned by the needs of the marginalized, the poor. And the issue you ask yourself, like here, how can we really continue that legacy? One way really is for us to try to see, like, is there any way I can support someone, for example, to access these programs? Now, you may look at the figures and say maybe, for example, like the masters, it reads about 348,000. You may feel like maybe it's too high, but you can look for a partner. You can look for a partner with a person. Together you can do it. You can look for 3 partners. You may not have money at all, but you can have friendship, you can build networks, and you can help someone really to come to school and see. And even like some students are able really to work and study and contribute partly to their tuition fees. So for me, really, everything here is doable. The numbers should not worry you. What it should be, we need is that commitment and to see the value of that. The other details you can just read for yourself. There are payment details, etc. MC, do I say something else? My parting shot. You are most welcome to Tangaza.
Thank you, Daktari. We appreciate. We can do better to appreciate Father Kiara. That was profound and very elaborative. Indeed, if you want to join Tangaza University at the Center for Leadership and Management, that is our program leader. And he has done really nice in terms of explaining what is needed and how you can actually go about it. One thing I like with what you have talked about, it's about the Selemas, and of course we'll hear more even as we go on. We have in the program someone to also tell us more, who is a postgraduate student. This is an MA in Ethics and Organizational Leadership, Miss Lucy Maingi. She is in the house. Miss Lucy Maingi. Just a moment. Thank you. That is my mother and my lecturer and my teacher and my friend. She has corrected me. Actually, I'm her product. Apigwe makofi jamani. Allah. Thank you so much. I'm actually now going to officially introduce her. You know, she had to be done like that. So this is our very own, the marketing and PR manager and coordinator of the Selemas. You know, at least the father has come to give the muktasari. Sasa taarifa ndiyo habari ndiyo iko karibu kufika. So let us put our hands together for Sister Margaret Mutiso. Mwalimu karibu sana. Thank you so very much. You know, I'm walking closely to in your footprints as you teach us. So please, let us appreciate once again Sister Margaret. Mwalimu, you can use this.
Thank you, Johnny. When he spoke about heaven, I knew he was confused. And indeed he was. Because when you meet the Spirit, he confuses you in a way that you mix things. But now we are okay. So, Sister Margaret, I'm an alumni of the Center for Leadership and Management. And I want to ask that you allow me to write on the protocols which have already been established. I acknowledge the presence of everyone, and I'm so delighted that we are here to celebrate the feast of Vincent de Paul, who is our patron saint. I graduated in the Center for Leadership and Management when the degree was coming from DePaul University. As Sister Alice was explaining, it was a liberal degree in leadership and management. And when we finished, we went out and realized that theory and practice were not matching. That time, Sister Alice and others were our lecturers. We came back and we told them, it is not working the way you told us. So they told us, though, how can we help? We told them we want to bring a team together or to gather all the alumni and have a space where alumni can share knowledge and experience. We call it ASK, Alumni Sharing Knowledge. And so we started the Leaders Guild in 2013, which is an alumni association under the Center for Leadership and Management. I will not talk about it more because I'm leading this to something. So as we continued with the Leaders Guild, we were doing some non-academic programs for the leaders, emerging leaders, but then we were also connected to the students at the center. And when I served for 6 years at the Alumni Association, I was requested to serve at the center at a level, another level, which was the assistant director to Sister Alice. Then 2022, we realized our students were struggling in a way. And we became aware because one student had enrolled for the BA and was struggling. That time, the fees was not revised, and it was coming to around 600,000. She did a fundraiser, which gave her only 100,000. So she had 500,000 to raise. And there were many other cases like that. And these students were fundraising for each other, supporting one another in school fees, supporting one another in even accommodation, food, because our students are mixed. And as you can hear from the spirit of Vincent de Paul, he says, we have enough in the society which can support every person. But we need somebody to mobilize the resources to support the needy. And so we saw our students were struggling to do that. And one day, one student came, and I really wanted her to be here, and she's not here today. She's Rosemariba. She asked me, what if we had a structured way of doing this mobilization instead of having us just fundraising one for one student, the next day we are there. So I shared with our director, and she was very happy, and she invited the idea. And that's why the Center for Leadership and Management Scholarship Fund was born. That's what Father Kiara was explaining us here in 2022. CELEMAS. Most of us, we have heard about CELEMAS, Center for Leadership and Management Scholarship Fund. And it was put under the Leaders Guild, which is an alumni association for the center. So now, when we launched, because when we shared the idea, the director bought, we shared with the university said it's a good idea. Now we threw it back to the students, we threw it to the alumni, and everybody who heard about it was very excited. And we were quoting to them that what St. Vincent de Paul says, serving the poor is not just a charity, but encountering Christ himself. And we realized we had Christ among ourselves. And that's how we started the scholarship fund. So 2022 was just the launch. And up to today, we have been doing different things. Sometimes we approach organizations who support, maybe one-off, or they pick somebody. Like the first time, there's an organization which picked 2 of our diploma students. They educated them to the end, and they graduated last year. Then other individuals just say, I want to educate this number of students. Currently, we have one person who is educating 3 diploma students for us. Other ways are events, like we have had several dinners trying to fundraise for the same. We've held benefit concerts in an effort to still do the same. Last year we had a crazy one that was an animal expo where we were treating dogs and cats, and all the proceeds came to support the same initiative. As I look around, I'm seeing so many people who have supported Selemas. I'm afraid to mention in names, but if I skip you, please, it's not intentional. And I want to start by all the alumni of the Center for Leadership and Management who are in the room. Please, can you wake up? We see you. All the alumni from the Center for Leadership and Management. So all those are supporting the initiative. Thank you so much for coming. They are not here because they have been around. They heard we are celebrating and they say they'll come. And whenever we have any event, they always come to support us. Then there are other supporters, like when we have the events, they come as vendors. Some are outside there, they may not be able to come in here, and they pay something small, which goes also to their support. In the room, I can see Judy. Please, that's also our supporter. If you have taken this milk written bio something, you should see her later. And soon, as an initiative, we are going to be selling those products because one of our dreams is to start a shop through the support of Coca-Cola, where we can be selling some of the products in support of the same initiative. We were hoping to launch it today, but it did not work. Otherwise, we are still okay. The DePaul fathers, they were already told to stand, but I think it's not bad to tell you to stand again, Father, with your colleague. Every time when we have a fundraiser, thank you, they always come with a very fat check. Always, every year, they support us with a check, and we are very, very grateful. There's another person who has been very supportive. He has not yet arrived. Maybe he's in the crowd. Abel Munyoki is not with us. He's supposed to be joining us. Every time we have events, he either will host or he will give us in one way or the other. And we are very, very grateful to Abel. And then, of course, our university through the VC, they have been very supportive by coming, mobilizing, and even last year they gave us a very fat check. Thank you so much, our VC. Then, when we started the initiative, we didn't have a team to lead. And of course, the same alumni, some of the faculty are also members of the committee. And I want to be a bit selfish and request them, please walk in front because we are very proud of you so that people can see you. Any Selemas committee member, please come in front so that people can see you. And as they come, I'm proudly saying that we have so far supported 22 students, that is from diploma, BA, and masters, and 3 graduated last year. So these are the people behind the whole initiative. As you can see, most of them are alumni of the center. It's only 3, I think 3 who are admin, 4 who are admin members. The rest are all alumni. If you can allow me, each one in a very 1 second, just to say the name.
My name is John, and I'm part of the committee. Thank you.
My name is Kiara. I'm committee member.
Sister Alice, member of the committee.
Margaret Maranga, committee member. Florence Okeke, committee member.
Paul Ginaro, committee member.
Caroline Wanyoike, member of the committee.
Lucia Guta, a proud alumni and also a member of the committee.
Sister Teresia, a committee member.
Ann Zioki, a committee member.
Thank you so much. I don't want you to stand for long. You can sit. Thank you. Yeah, so that is the team behind the whole initiative. There's one of us who is not with us. That is Christine Awino. She's also an alumni, and in Tangaza now she's the head of Alumni Association for the whole of Tangaza. Other people who have supported us, I see Mr. Samora there. He's the chair, Karen Langata Association, and he has been our supporter. Last year he was the chief guest in our fundraiser. And as I said, we have now supported 22 students, and we hope to do more. So apart from that, we also do feeding, because we realize you give them school fees, but then they come to class and they are hungry. So we have a feeding fund, which we also provide food for them. As I talk, we have exhausted, but we are hoping that God will provide for us. So those are some of the things that we do in the footsteps of St. Vincent de Paul, and we request for any support in many kinds, whether it's an advice, if you want to come on board as an advisor, if you want to come on board as a contributor. Father Kiara has already said the different ways in which we can support the initiative. And so, because this is a session for voices of heritage, let me not be the only voice, but I want to call now Lucy to come and add to my voice. Karibu sana Lucy. She's one of our MA students at the Center for Leadership and Management. Karibu Lucy.
Charity is the cement that binds community to God and people to each other. Those are not my words, but the words of the man that has brought us here together. And so, all protocols observed. My name is Lucy Maingi. Away from what we've just heard, I'm also a passionate business development specialist and also a champion for gender equality. And so today, I'm really humbled to stand before you all. And it's a doubly special kind of an event. Number one, yes, we are celebrating a very great man who brings us here together. But also on the other side, we are called to have a reflection, to pause and reflect on three main things. And I don't know whether these are, MC, your good students. I'm not so sure whether they are aware. The three areas that today we are pausing and reflecting upon. Anyone? Maybe this table here? You're taking notes, MC. This one here? The three main areas that you are called today to pause and reflect. Any table there? Presence. You're almost there. Madam Judith, it's my time to shine. She happens to be my professor for one of the units that I'm taking. You were meant to mention one, but now, yeah, we are reflecting on horizons, or rather we start with heritage, horizons, and hope. As a beneficiary of CLM, if we are reflecting on heritage, we acknowledge that we are beneficiaries of those who came before us. And when I say before us, I've just mentioned one of my lecturer, Professor Judith Pete, a mentor as well, a leader. Those who have spoken before me have talked of donors who are supporting this drive. Those are the beneficiaries, the people that we are called today to also think about, whose vision of ethical and servant leadership has made it possible for us to be here. Do we agree? Heritage is calling us today not only to reflect, but also to carry forward the gift of knowledge that is being imparted in us with gratitude and utmost responsibility. Think about horizon. I don't know, as you look at those flyers on our tables, the word horizon, because we are here today to reflect on the good works of St. Vincent de Paul. Horizon for me speaks of the future, the vision of who we can become. For some of us who are students, especially in my class, ethics and organizational leadership, we are being prepared to step into the world that is hungry for leaders who act with integrity, courage, and compassion. And Father Kiara, I've just spoken about it, why initially they thought of bringing this course of ethical leadership, in the society that we are living in. And so for us, it is not just a mere course that we are taking, but a gap that Tangaza saw in the world we are living in today to produce ethical leaders who can help shape the narrative, not only in the places of work, but globally at large. And therefore, the man that we celebrate here today, Saint Vincent de Paul, at one point in his life, mobilized for resources. He built new structures of services and responded to very urgent needs. And that is quite clear with the fund that Selemas is driving here today. And he's calling us today to widen those horizons, to lead with faith, vision, and also boldness. In my religion, there's kind of a greeting that we use, pilgrims of hope. Are we familiar with such kind of a phrase? Are we? How do we respond? Pilgrims of hope? And we are here to also reflect on hope. And in the present moment that we are living in, it is only hope that can sustain us. It has given us the meaning to our academic journey, instilling confidence in our future. And therefore, as CLM students, we embody hope. Hope for our studies, hope for our family, and even hope for our country, and hope for the entire world. And so, hope remains, or rather reminds us that leadership is never about oneself. It is not about you, it is not about me. But most importantly, it's about the impact that we are creating. Our education in itself should not just be education, it should be a means of creating change. And not just mere change, but ethical, sustainable, and transformative change. And so, ladies and gentlemen, today, as we celebrate our patron saint, let's think about the power of presence, being part of this community. For me, I think it's not an opportunity to take for granted. We are learning, we are growing, and journeying together as one community. We are thinking about leadership rooted in service, guided by ethics, and oriented towards a common good. And most importantly, we are thinking about impact. I've heard of our supporters, of our donors here come here today, and I'm so sure at the end of this journey, our academic journey, they'll want to know how many lives have we impacted, And so all the students, it doesn't matter whether you're doing a certificate, a diploma, a degree, in whichever capacity that you are in, I've always meant to believe that we can always make a change. We can always impact. It doesn't matter the amount or maybe the weight that we have in our hands. It doesn't matter how light it is. The knowledge and values that we gain here should not remain within our classrooms, but let's ripple it outside. As beneficiaries and our dear supporters, on behalf of all the students, I really want to pledge to honor this investment by becoming leaders who embody heritage, embrace new horizons, and radiate hope in all that we do. I'm so certain that all these investments that today you have made in the students inside this room, and even those that have not been able to make it here, that in near future, we shall indeed gather here to celebrate the same saying that you are called today to emulate. Having said that, and with no much further words, I want to say a word of thank you, and may God bless you all. Back to you, MC.
Miss Lucy Maingi, let us appreciate her once more. That was profound. And also it came out with a lot of courage, a lot of surety and certainty. Wow, I can see Dr. Peter said, yes, that was true. All right, thank you for that. That really also put me in a moment to think about a lot of things, especially when it comes to presence. Are you available? Are you there? Can you be counted? Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Lucy Maingi. And please allow me to call once again our very own director. Because of the interest of time, she's going to introduce to us the VC. So, Sister Alice, once again, please allow me to have the honor to invite you so that you are able to invite the VC for the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate Sister Alice Anzoyo. Karibu mwalimu.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again.
Afternoon.
Yes. Before I invite our VC here, I would like to recognize the presence of one of our chief guests, Mr. Dr. Kiari Kamau. I think I'm right? Yes, welcome. Yes, so my role here is simple now, to invite our VC to come and speak to us. Professor, you are welcome. Yeah, you are the father of the home. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Sister Alice, our Director for the Center for Leadership and Management, our esteemed guests who have honored us with your presence this afternoon in a very special way, recognizing Dr. Kamau, Mr. Abel, Mr. Samora, recognizing the faculty, CLM faculty, in a very special way, our partners, DePaul Fathers, represented here by Father Bernard, who is the new superior of the congregation, thanking, of course, the congregation for the support to the center and to the university at large, and congratulating you on your feast day tomorrow. The DePaul Fathers are not just have not just been supporting the Center for Leadership and Management through the DePaul University, as you were told in the history at the beginning, but the congregation is also among the 22 congregations who own and run Tangaza as sponsors. That means we are also a big stakeholder of the university at large. I want to begin by once again appreciating each and every one of you and thanking you, especially our visitors, our guests, for honoring us with the invitation. We invited you and you honored this invitation. And it's not just today. Every time, as Sister Margaret was saying, whenever we come to you for any support, including supporting our Celemas initiative, you have always been there for us, and we cannot take that for granted. We are grateful and happy that you have joined us this afternoon. Appreciating also the faculty and leadership of the center and also the students for organizing this day and coming up with some of these initiatives that are very, very important. As you might have realized, Tangaza is a very unique university because unlike other institutions, we are not just here for education. We are not just here to impart knowledge in class, but we want to bring values. We want to connect the theory that we teach in class with values. Initiatives like Celemas, taking care of the needy and the disadvantaged in society, enabling them access education where they would otherwise not been able to do, can only happen in an institution that treasures values. And Tangaza is one of such institutions. We say that here we teach minds, we touch hearts, and we transform lives. And we believe that those values are so important to accompany the education that we give. Otherwise, we will not make any difference to the learners who go through our institution. And that's why people like St. Vincent de Paul remains a big pillar and also a role model for us, not only for the center, but for Tangaza as a whole. So welcome you all to the celebration of the Feast of St. Vincent de Paul, a day that connects us deeply with our roots, a day that challenges us to dream big, and a day that strengthens us with a renewed hope, as the theme of this celebration is heritage, horizons, and hope, a celebration of presence, leadership, and impact. This theme is not just a beautiful phrase, it is a roadmap for our lives and our work at the Center for Leadership and Management and at Tangaza as a whole. We are here to celebrate our heritage, the rich tradition of faith, service, and leadership inspired by our father, St. Vincent de Paul. He taught us that greatness is not measured by possession, but by the depth of our love and our service to others. We look to new horizons, the opportunities before us in education, leadership, and community engagement. This is our motto. This is our mission. Each student here carries the potential to become a leader who transforms society with courage and compassion. And finally, we are strengthened by hope, the hope that what we build here at this university will have a lasting impact in Kenya, in Africa, and beyond, in our families, in our communities, in the society, and in the church. As St. Vincent reminds us, love and service are never exhausted. They are always inventive, always forward-looking. I'm grateful to the Center for Leadership and Management for creating this space of reflection and celebration. And to all of you, our staff, students, and guests, I say, let us live here inspired to lead with integrity, to serve with love, and to hope with confidence. May the spirit of St. Vincent guide us today and always. Once again, karibuni sana, and feel at home.
Thank you so much. We can do more. Let us appreciate our professor. Thank you, Prof, for that. God bless you. That was very profound and also very touching. Indeed, may the spirit of St. Vincent de Paul guide us all the way. Now, we want to break the monotony. I told you I'm a very vibrant MC, and so far I feel like we have been sitting down for a very long time. We're going to have 5 minutes of energizing, because you guys, I know that you have just eaten, and we need to do something for our bodies, because the session that is going to come next is even more vibrant. Okay? So are we ready to do what I'm about to request you to do? DJ, are we ready? All right, let's do this. It's kind of a surprise. We are going to pull on you, but you're going to do what you're going to ask. But as the DJ is pulling that, the 3 students that have a name, Doreen, Cam, Pamela, and Sam. Sam, Pamela, and Doreen, please come on board. Kindly, just come near me. And DJ, we are ready, right? Okay, so ready? The 3 students, kindly come. You can see we have good stage. We are not disrupting anything on the stage. But I want you guys to go up there. No worry, we are going to do this very well. I'm also part of you, okay? Don't worry, I'm part of you. Sam, I know you got moves. Lillian, are we ready? All right, DJ. So let's go up there. Let's go up there. Yeah. So every other person, please be on your feet. Every other person, please be on your feet. We are going to be entertained for 5 minutes only. And they are our dance lead. So we are going to do what they are doing. Even our guests, kindly stand up. Professor, Lillian is going to teach us the rules so we just copy. All right. Malakiana, you have to do the moves. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. I can see Maggie Maranga doing it well, doing it right. Mr. Katuko, you are not doing it right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Amazing. People are not dancing. Please copy well, eh? Very good. We need that foot to sing. Dr. Judy Pete, please keep it up. You're doing very well. Hey. Kila mtu anazunguka. Very good. Yeah. Wonderful moment. Yeah. That is our very own Lillian. Her name is Lillian. She's a student in Tangaza, doing amazing. Thank you for the moves, Lillian. Next time, tell us to come with a uniform. Paul Gennaro, you are doing it very well. Keep it up, sir. Nice. Come on, dance. This is the only chance you have. I can assure you it's only the chance that you have today. Yeah. Can we give her some ululation? Nice. Amazing. Amazing. Remember, you are live in Capuchin TV. Everyone is seeing you at home. So you have to do it right because you are live at Capuchin TV. Sister Alice Anzoyo, keep it up. You are doing well. Thank you. Wow. Hey. Unazunguka kidogo, zunguka kidogo. Ala. Wonderful. Yeah. Mkono juu. Wonderful. Amazing. I can see Sam is like he rehearsed yesterday. Sam from Madagascar is doing very well. Brother, continue. Our brother from Madagascar, he is doing amazing work. Pamela and Doreen, you're also doing good. Wonderful, amazing, beautiful. Celebration of Saint Vincent de Paul. Amazing. Grab your neighbor. Why are you not grabbing your neighbor? Allah. Wonderful. This is beautiful. Amazing. Wow, DJ. Let us appreciate them. Come on, let us give them a hand. Thank you so much, Lillian. That was needed. Maraga, I know that was needed. She can confirm that was needed. Even Lucy Maingi, she says that was needed. So, Doreen, that is why I needed to know your names before you were starting, because we had to work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point and moment, we want to get into another session because we want to enter into a panel engagement. But before I introduce any other person, Ms. Florence, kindly, you need to take the stage. Let's appreciate Ms. Florence Makeke. Have I said it well? Sorry, Ms. Florence?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, after we go out, come for fine. I have to pay fine for that. Miss Florence, okay, come on, let us appreciate her. So this is how we are going to do it. And this Miss Florence Okeke is the Training and Research Officer at the Leaders Guild and also CLM in Tangaza University. Let us appreciate Miss Florence. So she's not going to sit down because we want to give her some people. So she'll be receiving her, or rather them from her end, and I'm going to be doing the justice in terms of the introduction. So we have our very own guest in the house. So after I do the introduction from my end, so they will just be taking on the stage, and you guys have to help me in appreciating and welcoming them. Are we together? Student, are we together? Yes. Very nice. So let us do it. All right. Now on stage, we have our very own. All right. Okay. This is the PhD candidate at Tangaza University, or rather Tangaza University, MBA from Egerton, BA Economics and Geography from the University of Nairobi. He has over 20 plus years experience in journalism and PR, fellow of PRSK. He's the former president of EAPRA. This is the past vice chair of PRSK. He's also an award. He has an award in PRSK Golden Honors 2012. He also have an Order of the Grand Warrior 2024, and the Chief Manager, Public Relation Communication, Office of the Controller of Budget Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Stephen Wanganji, OGW. Come on, let us do better. Karibu sana sir, you can take on stage. Thank you very much. Let us appreciate him until he gets up. Asante sana, karibu sana. We appreciate you are coming. Let us move forward. Asante. The next one, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to introduce this gentleman who is a lecturer of Tangaza University College, which is from the Institute of Spirituality and Center for Leadership and Management. He holds BA in Philosophy and Religious Studies. He has MA in Franciscan Spirituality, MA in Peace Studies and International Relations. He's also a PhD candidate, Social Transformation at Tangaza. He's a member of the Secular Franciscan Order. He's also a lecturer since 2010 and also taught at Consolata University and at Catholic University of East Africa. He is also very dedicated to education, peace, and Franciscan values. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate our very own Mr. James Gatuku. Come on, let us do better until he gets to the stage. We can do better until he gets to the stage. Mr. James Gatuku, karibu sana. Asante sana. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our very own Director of Corporate Services, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the KNBS. She's a PhD and MSc HRM at JQuat, BEDUON, and she's also a certified HR professional, CHRPK, member of IHRM. She has actually 25 plus years in human resource, in leadership and governance expertise, and she leads HR in finance, in ICT and communication, and also administration at KNBS. She's very experienced in governance reforms, in TVET studies, and executive recruitment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our very own Dr. Jane Uweru. Come on, let us do better for her. Asante sana. Let us do better for this lady. She's the lady, one lady in the panel, and this is beautiful. We can do better. All right, let us appreciate them. Let us appreciate them. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over this mic to Ms. Florence. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, John. This afternoon, we are grateful and happy to be here. We first of all want to appreciate the three remarkable leaders who sit in spaces where they are leaders and a lot of responsibility has been put on them as leaders. They have inspired generations, and we welcome them this afternoon. Give them a round of applause once more as we begin this session. Now, being leaders in the 21st century with many challenges that have been there, we have seen there is a change in technological advancements. There's push for leaders to be more agile and flexible, and also to have a more holistic leadership style. But as we look at our theme this afternoon, because we are having aspiring leaders in the house, maybe some of us are already leaders in their own ways, but some of us are aspiring to get to the top of the leadership ladder. Leadership is about leading. But this afternoon, our theme for this discussion is about leading with impact for impact. And I believe by the time you're sitting on that leadership role, you have been leading with impact. And we are also navigating presence, and we are looking at leadership in a fast-paced world, not just any leadership role, but in a fast-paced world. So as we begin this session, for each and every one of you, beginning with you, Mr. Wagaji, then we go to Mr. Gatuku, and then we might Dr. Jen. One of the questions that I would want us is help us define leadership with impact for impact, based on your own leadership journey and experience, and how you can see leadership evolving. Over to you, Mr. There's a mic on the other side.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this conversation. As you've heard, I've been around the communication industry for about 20 years. I'm a fellow of PRSK. I was honored by the president with the OGW. I worked at BAT Kenya. I've worked at Pyrethrum Board of Kenya. I've worked at NHIF, Egerton University, and now I work at the Office of the Controller of Budget. I'm in the board of Center for Corporate Governance, Alumni Association, and I chair one secondary school as the board of the chairman of the board of directors, and also in a primary school. So with all this, I've had a very clear perspective of leadership, and I want to share with you in this conversation just a few areas of leadership that I want to engage in as we discuss and see how we can be able to improve leadership as we go forward. And I want to start by thanking St. Vincent de Paul for for having identified communication as a key role in leadership. And that is probably why you invited PRSK representative to come into this conversation, because communication sits at the center of leadership, because communication is a human right, and communication is the connecting factor in any leadership role. So I've had a lot of experience in trying to get through this, and throughout my communication role, I've had a lot of challenges and overcome those challenges by getting involved in leadership roles at different levels. And one of the most challenging is when I was the public relations and marketing manager at Egerton University. So this is a university, and it can't come any better. You are at the university, 3/4 of the people you're in management are professors, and you are supposed to advise them on communication and marketing. It came at a time when the universities were open, so there was a lot of marketing at the university. So that meant that I reported directly to the Senate, because that's the highest level the highest level of decision making. And I remember one time I walked into the Senate, and the deputy vice chancellor in charge of academic told me that, you know, the Senate is not by invitation. You must belong, because all of them are doctors and professors. As you are aware, this is the time I'm getting my PhD. So one leadership role that I would like to emphasize is that you play leadership role at whatever level you are, because I would like to quote a lot from St. Vincent, who matched his gifts with society's deepest needs, because he said that he'll throw this to the impact that he has to the society. And one gift to carry that you think, the question I would like to ask you here is that, what is one gift do you carry that you think the world is waiting for? And as has been said, those are the areas. So the other areas is the people and communication. You need to draw from the experience that I've had at the control of budget, that the most powerful civic education moments happen when you communicate the rights to the people, about schools, about books, about hospitals, about medicine. Because in all these leadership roles I've had, the one that has clearly changed my perspective is the one I've had at the control of budget. Because Egerton, NHIF, I've always had bosses. But the difference is that at the control of the budget, my bosses are the people of Kenya. Because the role of that office is defined in the Constitution. And the role that I play as the head of communication is defined also in the Public Finance Management Act, because it's a right of Kenyan citizen to know issues about budget. So it means that as much as I have a boss, I have a voice that I can be able to explore. So that has taught me a lot, that just like St. Vincent's leadership style was rooted in service. For me, service has looked like designing CSR programs for the organization, empowering communities, helping build governance, dialogues, and giving citizens a voice in finance. So my questions to you again is, in your daily life, what is one small act of service you can choose that transforms somebody today, tomorrow, and in the future? So just for a start, those are the areas, and I think I wanted to look at this in several areas, but I think those ones will come later, on how you impact on people. And those of us who are Catholics, remember, the last Sunday's message, I think it was the impact that you have. All these things that we do in the world, all the gifts that God has given us, they are very temporary. What really matters is, what do you use this gift to impact on the people? So I have the issue of the people, the service, the tasks that we do, changing thought leadership, and professionalism. You are all students here. What role do we play in the profession that we have? And I think the details of that, I think, would come as we continue the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagaji. I think you're bringing out the aspect of leadership being value-centered, because you're bringing out the values of service, professionalism, and that is key. And I think that is one of the areas that, as the students are listening, is to tease out their values, because service is a value. Do I own those values? Maybe the question is, do I own the values? Because if I don't have the specific values, then it becomes difficult to use them. But appreciating the aspect that impact is about a value-centered form of leadership. Thank you. Mr. Gatuku, being in the university and working with students, I think you have insights for us in relation to defining impact.
Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Florence, and thank you I'm excited to be here, to be part of panelists, and especially looking at all who are looking at me. We have interacted in one way or the other in class, and especially on Saturdays afternoons. Anytime we start our class, we used to call each other leaders. Good afternoon, leaders. When I was told to talk to you about leadership, I first of all remembered one of my school teachers in high school a number of years ago. That teacher, after election of prefects, he knew many of us did not become prefects. And so he wanted to kind of show the importance of leadership even if you are appointed. And he was always having one message. For all of you who are not made prefect, you are leaders of your bed. We were wondering, how can someone be a leader of his or her bed? But for sure, he told us, it is you to know how you make your bed. And when you go to sleep, it is you know how to sleep, whether you want to sleep diagonally, vertically, it doesn't matter. So he was making us feel, in our own way, we are leaders. And these people, we have been telling each other, we are leaders. I'm only going to mention two things because I know this panel, we have people who have a lot of knowledge, but there is something that in leadership, and especially when we are in student level, training ourselves to become, there is something we should do. First of all, we are supposed to be leaders to inspire others. How do you inspire others if you don't believe in yourself? Most of you, if you want to inspire others, because as this gentleman has said, sometimes he feels so challenged when he's working and his bosses are Kenyans, all the citizens. Sometimes you don't know who is your boss, and sometimes you don't know who you are supposed to impact. But for you to be someone with an impact, you have to believe in yourself so that you can inspire others. And believing in yourself need you to be confident. I'm very sure when I saw Lillian and those people who are dancing here, probably if John, and we always admire the voice of John, it is wonderful. Sometimes it challenges us. If you would call others here, probably the first thing they would do is to fall down. Because they don't believe that they can stand in front of people and do such a thing, is it? I don't know whether Lillian made some preparation for that or something just came. As a leader, wherever you are, in your own simplest way, you are supposed to be confident that whatever I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do it. That is why I tell you in class, when you go to class, the first question should not be, how will your exams be? Where will you get exams? No. You have to go to that class believing, I'm going to make it, and I'm going to get a day. And you know when I'm teaching you, I always tell you, I'm not an exam teacher. I'm a teacher who is impacting what? Knowledge. So if you don't believe in yourself, you'll be wondering, will I fail the exam? Will I pass? Now, for some of our students who have walked out in the society, because Sister Margaret told us we have alumni here now, those who are working, you have already experienced that. The other day, I was talking to a lady who was our student here, who is visually challenged. What's her name? Patricia. And because I follow up with my student, and I was asking her, now where you are working, how are you impacting what you got in Tangaza? And we had a long phone conversation, and I was so excited to hear in her own condition how she has been able to do a lot, because anybody who knows Patricia, she believes in herself. So believe in yourself in leadership. And finally, because I know you still give me another opportunity, authenticity. Be authentic. Stop masking. At some time, the mask will fall. I always give you the story of the animals with the horns when they had a meeting and the hare decided to join them and put the horn of mud. And then the meeting was amidst sun. And what happened at 2 p.m.? The sun was too hot and the horn had to fall down. I think I have given you that story a number of times. Because the hair was not authentic for joining the meeting that does not belong to him. Be authentic. Don't mask. When you go to your superior, if you are religious, when you go to the people you are working for, show that authenticity. And if you are authentic, you are going to be very much aware of what you are supposed to do. I know all of us, we are leaders in our own way. It doesn't matter where we are reading, but we must be transformative leaders. If we are inspiring, if we are authentic, then we are going to be transformative. At least a simple change where you are. Let people say, this small change happened because of this and this individual. So, Mrs. Flores, I think I can go up to that, and then we'll still continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gatuku. You're really challenging the aspect of self-leadership, that at the very space that we serve, I must be aware of who am I, show myself authentically, and be able to lead myself first before I can lead others. It's leading self, leading others, and leading organizations. Thank you. Welcome. Same question.
Okay.
From where you're sitting, help us tease out this question. Impact, leadership for impact.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your invitation. When I got this call to come around and share my experiences, one question that I asked myself is, the person who picked on me, what did she think that I have to offer for such a forum? Leadership comes from a very young age, and sometimes we start asking ourselves whether leadership is you're born with leadership or you grow in it. And I have been in senior positions in government. I have actually served the government of Kenya for 30 years. That's how long I have worked. And along the way, I have experienced several things that tell me that I have to be strong as a leader. And there are essentials of leadership that I hold very dearly. One of them is emotional intelligence. Because if you do not understand yourself, you don't understand your emotions, it means you'll not be able to lead the others. I have held positions as a human resource leader, and I would call it a people leader, because nowadays it's not about managing people, it's about leading them. And leadership is not power, it's not authority, it's what is it that you can do to take care of the people that you'll be given that responsibility of taking care of. So, importantly is that you need to be a visionary leader or a visionary thinker, that be ready to take the people that are working under you to a place that they have never been. Because the reason why the people look at us is because they have hope in us that as leaders, we are able to take them to a place that they are agitating to go, or they are longing to go. Let's look at the current situation we are in our country. Where we have the Gen Z, you know what is happening in our country, that they are yearning for something that perhaps they are not able to have a structured way of expressing themselves. So as a leader, what is your role by ensuring that, starting with the students, especially at the university, you have young children in school. I have been a high school teacher, by the way, so that also tells me that you have a responsibility all along to ensure that you take care of the young ones from the very young age up to the senior level. What is it that you can impact on these young people, the young generation, that whatever they're asking for, there's some element of modesty, there's an element of restraint, that you can still get what you're looking for without having to go beyond perhaps the expectations of the legislations that are existing. So for me, Florence, as a leader, and having worked in a space where I have to interact a lot with the students, I've been in the university for about 7 years or so, and I've also worked the rest of my life in the government, specifically serving in the human resource department. My role is to ensure that I impact on anyone that I meet along my line of duty. And some of the very important values that I hold here, one of them being emotional intelligence, because you have to think about the repercussions of what you're doing. How mindful are you of other people? How cautious are you about whatever you want to do? How cautious are you to ensure that you don't hurt other people, but at the same time there's an impact? If you pass through some place and you've been given a responsibility and you don't make any impact, you'll just have passed by. But if you're given a responsibility and you ensure that you make some impact, for example, in human resource, we have a responsibility of ensuring that you provide a good working environment for the people that you've been given that role to play. So what is it that you do to ensure that you bring everyone on board? Because that has been a big challenge. At times you're in an environment where there are challenges like our co-presenter was speaking about, that you're in a situation where people look at you and you feel you're not fit to be in that environment. So what is it that you do as a leader to make some impact without exercising power or authority? That whatever you do, it has created impact, but it has not portrayed you as somebody who wants to exercise any power or any authority. So I think that is what I would call for now about the leadership.
Tawero. I think as we are listening, the key highlights is one, to lead successfully and with impact. You must be able to understand your role. You must be able to understand your leadership philosophy. You must be able to be self-aware and the strategies that you have to employ to be able to work with people successfully. Dr. Gatuku, make sure there will be an exam question from this forum, from this session, so that the learners can know that leadership. The learners can know that leadership begins with leading self and even attending sessions like this. Thank you so much. I want to turn the conversation into a different way. Remember, the roles that you hold have a lot of pressure, and the environment that you lead is quite uncertain, isn't it? It can be quite challenging. How do you stay grounded in terms of presence? And how does it look like? Maybe you can even help us tease out the word presence in your leadership role. Mr. Wagaji, can I point? OGW, was that the right name?
Thank you very much. On the question of how you handle leadership, I want to talk about 5 areas that anchor leadership. The first one is the leadership from within. And I like what an author called Robin Sharma talks about leadership. He says the self. He states that leadership starts before you walk into the boardroom. So that you should always believe like that, that before you don't need to be in the boardroom to be a leader. And throughout my experience, I've seen that, and this is mostly when I worked for NHIF, and you know what NHIF is. It's been said it's the most disparaged organization. Imagine you are the one who is protecting that image. So the image went so bad that it had to be dissolved. So this is the philosophy I believed, that the hard part was checking myself. Am I showing up with integrity? Do I really believe in what I'm communicating? And it's an example I always give, because when I left NHIF to go to Egerton University, I left when the CEO was my friend, but he was in such deep problems that he had to tell. During that year, I was sponsored to do an activity, and Margaret knows, in Israel. I went for an activity in Israel. So he told me that this Israel that you've gone to has really helped you, because I was the only manager among our managers who survived. I think that year all the managers were fired. But I was able to survive because I believed in what I was doing. If something was not good for communicating, I said, no, let's internally look at ourselves. And if there's an opportunity to correct ourselves, let's correct ourselves, or at least promise that we are going to correct ourselves and people will always understand. And that's the communication gap, even we have challenge that we're having as leadership in the country at the moment. If you could just go back and say, we made a mistake here, we thought that this would happen, but because of issues, we have not been able to do this, but we are doing A, B, C, D to correct. People will always forget and say, no, let's give them a chance. So self-reflection and what you do, the little things that you do, really matters. So as community of Tangaza, I want to ask you, how many of you feel that your personal values are clear enough to guide your choices when things get tough? So that is something to think about. Then what you do, what's your mission? We need also to look at that. All of us have unique gifts. And for me, it has been communication and governance. I'm passionate about communication and governance. And as I said, because of the interrelated importance. And governance more so because I believe in fairness. And I think that is what St. Vincent stood for. All stakeholders have equal rights, be it in governance in the corporate world, be it in governance in the public governance in government. All of them have stakes. So are they getting the value of their stakes, and is it being communicated? So those are the ones. Then lastly, it's on collaboration and ethics and professionalism. Throughout my career, whether in government, universities, or corporate boards, I found that real impact happens through collaboration. And that's when I was invited to come here, I made a very quick decision. Initially, somebody else from public relations was meant to come. But when I was told to have this opportunity, I said, no, I'm a student of that university, and I like collaboration. So that collaboration is very important. It comes out of professionalism. How many of you are professionals in whatever you do? How many of you are members of your professional organization? My co-presenter here has said that she's in the HR management profession. I'm in PRSK. How many of us are in our professional associations, and how many of us are aspiring to be there? So those are the key issues that I think are very critical in determining and promoting leadership and ethical leadership for that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagaji. Allow me to ask you this question. Are you saying, therefore, that they are bad leaders?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Their leadership is given, and I'm basing this on what St. Vincent eschewed in his interactions, and that is the theme we have here. So leadership is, like any aspects, it has three aspects. There's negative leadership that does not contribute to any impact to the stakeholders and the people you lead, including mentorship. You can just survive in leadership. Then there's leadership that is neutral. You are just there. You follow the rules. You do what is supposed to be done. You manage people according to the rules. And when people are not looking, you do other things, but you're still the leader. But then the leadership that we are talking about here is that positive leadership, the one that has impact, the one that was the preacher that we were preached to last Sunday. I think those of us who are Catholics, when the preaching was on impact. Do you have a leadership that has impact? Does it add value? Does it make people change? Does it have that wow moment for everybody you lead? Thank you.
So negative leadership is valueless. I think that's what's coming out very clearly.
It's true, yeah.
And so as we are building the journey of leadership, we have to be aware. Mr. Gatuku, help us understand the pressures of being a lecturer within this setting so that the students can know that it's not a walk in the park for you as well.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Challenges, first of all. If I was to help him also answer the question about bad leadership, yes, we have bad leaders because they choose to be bad. And one of the biggest side of a leader is you lead the mind of the people you are leading. You lead the problem. Then you become part of solution, not part of the problem. There are some leaders who are not resilient. They are part of the problems. Here, among the gathering, we have Roman Catholic priest. At least my VC is here, who is a Catholic priest. At least my program leader there, Father Kiara, is a Roman Catholic priest. And I can see behind there one of my good students, Nakuona Augustinian. How are you? Yes, a priest, and I hope you got an A. So now, my question is, assume you go for a funeral, a very emotional funeral, and people are seriously crying, and you have to read Mass. Are you going to start crying yourself? Are you going to start crying? However emotional attached you are, you have to make sure you hold yourself, because these people are looking forward to you giving them consolation. But if you start crying, I tell you, even the courageous people who are not crying, they would all start crying. Is it true, John? They would all start crying. Because you standing there as a leader, you are supposed to show the leadership. Now, come to academic circles. When we are teaching, we are leaders. Because like now, anytime I enter into a class, those students are vulnerable. And they look at me. And whatever I say, they think it is good. But look at what has been happening in some of our schools, especially high schools. We have had teachers who molest girls. Have we had that? Have we had rape cases in school? Yes. We have had teachers who solicit fund from students. What kind of leadership is that? So those students who are being led by that particular teacher are learning. But are they learning on a positive note? No. Their question is, I know there are people here who don't understand Swahili, my friends from Madagascar and other countries, lakini they ask, huyu ni mwalimu wa aina gani? What kind of a teacher is this? So, in my position as a leader, there is one teacher who told the students, you do whatever you want to do, but know I have the power of red pen. Do you know what that means? I can make you get a D. I can make you get a receipt. Is that a good leadership for a lecturer or for a teacher? That I have the power of a red pen? No, it is not, Florence. Because when you are dealing with the students, you are not there to challenge them and to make them feel they cannot make it. So all of us here will have to face challenges. There's something I called positive psychological capacity to be a leader. You must have positive emotions. Like now the way I'm saying, the priest is supposed to mourn with Christians, but he cannot start crying. He has to show positive emotion. You have to be resilient. If a student that you are teaching is not cooperative, usimkemee, don't just talk ill of him. You have to understand, probably he's coming from a very difficult condition. I was moved by one of Sister Margaret's talk here when she said, sometimes they give students school fees through cinemas, yet they don't have food. What? Now, where do you start? You give them school fees, you pay for them through cinemas, but when they come, they can't study because they have not eaten anything. So you again have to go and think about what they are going to eat. That is a resilient leader. That you don't feel tired of what you are doing. And then you have to have positive look of issues. The life in general. And I'm not talking about that because I'm a lecturer and every time I get students who are under me, I'm talking to you now because you are going to be readers in one way or the other. You have to practice that. Probably some of you will join me in teaching responsibilities. My sister here who is doing MA, we can't wait for you to finish so that you can ask Sister Alice to give you a class. And when she gives you a class, you are a leader. Because immediately you enter to that class, you are a leader. You have to look at those people, those students you are teaching, with a lot of positiveness. Even if a student is not getting anything, sometimes Sister Alice and Sister Margaret, they give a student from non-English speaking country to supervise. When they write for you the first chapter, you feel like you want to throw it and you don't want even to go to them again because you can't even understand what is being written. But that student is looking unto you to read his work, to correct him. So sometimes you have to stop being a lecturer of CLM and you become an English teacher to help him write a good grammatical paper. Resilient. And finally, something that St. Vincent de Paul was doing, and it has been done by my good father and friend, St. Francis. You remember, after this, next week, we are celebrating the feast of St. Francis. And there are good people in talking about humility. If you want to be a good leader, humility. I mean, our VC here has opportunity to say, how do I go to listen to Mr. Gatuko now? I'm his boss. But because of humility, he's seated here listening at us. True or not? If you are a leader, you have to be humble. And that is one of the way, Florence, that challenge will be minimal if you are humble. Humility. But as you are humble, hold the bull by its horn. Don't accept to be simple again. Being humble does not mean you humiliate yourself. Being humble also means you do what you are doing, but you be bold, you be firm. Like the voice of John. I wish I was given that voice. You know, being humble does not mean you humiliate yourself. Being humble does not mean you ask a student, like now when I'm teaching an Augustinian father, he's a reverend father, I am a lay Christian, but when I'm in class, I'm his boss, is it? So when he doesn't come to class, I will firmly ask him, Father, where were you on Saturday? That is being bold and holding the bull by its horn. So that is quite, I would say, about leadership and challenges that we meet in our areas of leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gatuko, and being grounded as well at the same time. I think you're pointing out, teasing out values. You know, I can be firm, but I can still challenge. Scandals are not for the lecturers because, again, values play a big role. We hear scandals with our lecturers across the country, and that is quite unfortunate for the leaders who are leading our learners, who are vulnerable, because you have mentioned that some of them are vulnerable. Dr. Weru, you're sitting in a position that has a lot of responsibility. You have mentioned that you've been in the public service for 30 years plus, and we appreciate that. Please tease it out. Help us see the challenges and how you stay grounded during those moments as an individual. Because at the end of the day, you're human as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Florence. My leadership dates back to around 20 years ago. I had to make a decision to leave the public service for some time and join the university. And this is the time I felt I need to marry theory and practice. I was a practitioner for many years. I did my PhD, and I felt that I needed to go and exactly find out what goes on in a university. So when I landed there, I happened to go to a small university that had just started, and I happened to be the only lecturer in a faculty that I had a PhD. And at the same time, I happened to be the only lady who was there. So you can imagine the challenges when you come in.
you're getting into a space where people already used to doing things in a certain manner. You have come in, you're trying to inject new ideas, but people look at you that hey, you don't belong here, you're interfering. So I had to really start firm and try to practice some of the values that I had obtained when I was working in the government. And one of the key values that I hold here is decisiveness. To be decisive means that you're ready to make decisions no matter what challenges you're going through. I was in an institution whereby you're being introduced into a learning. It was my first time to teach in a university. You have to understand coding of those subjects. I know Mwalimu here, you know. So I didn't know what there was. Then I landed, there was a program that was starting, and the person who was holding the position I was given decided, hey, you are now appointed the chair of a department. Go ahead and continue developing the program. So I had to find a way of getting information from wherever I could get and be able to deliver a program, because that was a requirement. So the issue of firmness, as my co-speaker here has talked about, that you have to be firm in whatever you do, regardless of the challenges that you're going through. Now, coming to the position that I'm holding now, I'm on tour of duty from the university. I'm now head of corporate services. Corporate services has several dockets that one has to take care of. I'm in charge of finance. I am not a finance person, but somehow I have to navigate to ensure that I take lead in guiding the people who are working in the finance department. I also had the ICT division. You can imagine with a very transformative space on IT, that you have to be on top of things to ensure that you guide your people. And once you're appointed a leader, no one wants to find out what your expertise is, that you are a leader and you must lead in all ways. The other docket that I take care of is human resource. For me, that is a cup of tea, having been a HR for many years. So that doesn't give me challenges. I also had administration. There are many things. In the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, we do a lot of field work. As you're aware, we collect data in all ways, so you have to ensure that logistics are taken care of. You have vehicles to provide for the data collectors. You have enough resources like issues of computer and all that. And also communication. So you have to be a jack of all trades to ensure that you survive. So for me, what I find very key for me is empowerment. Empowering teams is a very firm value of leadership, that whatever happens, you leave the organization. You'll still have made an impact, that people are not waiting for you to come and make decisions for them, but you empower them. We are guided that you don't buy people fish. You buy them the fishing, the fishing net to fish. So what I do all the time is learning, developing the skills of the existing staff. The majority of our staff at the Bureau are statisticians and economists. So it is my responsibility to ensure that I identify courses that are going to enhance their skills, because for them, it is data throughout. Actually, a big challenge is that the staff are permanently looking for data. And looking for data, analyzing and releasing the data. Some of us maybe don't know what KNBS does. I know when you hear of KNBS, we think of census, Kenya Population and Housing Census, but we have so many other data that we collect. We do a major survey that we call economic survey that provide data for all sectors of the economy. So my role is to ensure that I empower those statisticians who have that responsibility of ensuring that they collect data. So challenges are there. Another major challenge is data overload. You can produce as much data as possible, but as a leader, how do you ensure that it's not just about data, it's about human judgment? What judgment do you make that whatever data has been produced, it is effective, it is impactful? So data overload, lack of human judgment, which may arise with people who have been in the trade for many years, and they don't know that it's not just about numbers, it's about what you do with those numbers. So those are some of the challenges I would say I've been experiencing, but being decisive, being visionary, and going ahead of the others, I see it as I see them as key values that I have to continue using to foster decision making. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wero. I think you're bringing out the aspect of I've had to adapt to the situations, adaptive leadership, and be creative to be able to solve the challenge, because the role is yours. The responsibility has been given to you. I have been told that I have a short time. I just want to push each one a question. Mr. Gituko, please tease it out for us. Building leadership presence as a student, what will it take?
Thank you very much. Presence. If you want to get good grades, however much you go to library and pursue books, you'll still have to attend lectures. And I think that is something you realize. There are some people actually who pass just because of attending lectures without even studying from outside. And that is just a very simple explanation of presence. You being there. The word presence refers to your availability, you being there. So if you want to be a leader, and if you want to change the society, your presence is very much important. You have to be there. And you are not there when things are good. You are there when things are bad and when things are good. So you cannot say, I'll be present if everything is working. In Tangaza, sometimes we had challenges, but we did not run away from it. We remained here. Until now, we are a chartered university, such that now we are competing. The last time we had a faculty meeting here, faculty workshop, we are shown where Tangaza is now within the universities in the world. What about if we ran away when challenges were there? We could not be numbered. We could not be marked. So today, as we talk of UN, University of Nairobi, as we talk of JKUAT, as we talk of our neighbors here, Catholic University of East Africa, Kwea, we are talking of Tangaza, simply because we were able to start through challenges. So our presence is very important. Look, there are some people here in the families. When families start having challenges, they disappear. They run away. Sometimes we hear of children who don't go home because their parents have been having challenges. And simply because when they came to Nairobi, they are staying a little bit well, they don't want to go and mix with them. Please, kindly, you have to be there amidst whatever is happening. And don't mind what people are saying about you. Some of us here, we have our degrees, especially those who finished already, and maybe we don't have jobs. Be there. Job will come one day. And as I always tell you, don't choose what to do. This is not time to choose what to do. If you are a good leader, you just, some saints, and even Jesus Christ, when he was sending his disciples, I'm not a preacher, but at least I read Bible. When he was sending the disciples, he was telling them, eat what is set before you, especially in the house that you are welcomed. Of course, he was telling them, if you are not welcomed, just do what to your feet. Leave the dust with them and go. But where you are welcome, eat what is beside you. Let me finish by this. I don't know whether she'll give us another opportunity to parting short. Where I am born and brought up, I was brought up by a humble woman in a humble family. And probably some of our neighbors could not imagine that someone from our family could drive a car. And because God knows how to bless, one day God blessed me with a small car. And when I drove home over the weekend, when I came back to Nairobi, one of my brother cousins called me, and he told me, people are saying here that you are hiring cars in Nairobi to come and show them. Do you know why they are saying that? Because kwetu, in our house, kile kigesikika kikiguruma ni tubo. When you are so hungry, the stomach is grrr. But now, when they hear vehicle grumbling in your family, they say, that cannot be someone from this particular family. And I told my brother cousin, don't mind them. At least even if I hired a vehicle, I had money to do that. So I was still a step ahead of them. Because the money that I used to hire the vehicle, was it their money? Was it not mine? Good. So don't mind when people are challenging you that you cannot make it. You can make it. In the little way, in the big way, in the small way, you can make it and you can manage. Just start little. Little by little. Some of you seated here, you never thought you can be in university. Now you are in university. Some of you are you are graduate already. You never thought you could graduate. You graduated even with the first class honors. Then, who told you you cannot be a pilot? Who told you cannot bring a big limousine to your family? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gituko. Well said. And I think at this point it is important to stand and honor that Tangaza is in the hierarchy. Please stand up and clap for those who stayed present. Clap for them. Clap for them. Ululate if you can. It's an honor. It's an honor. Thank you. Thank you. Be seated. That's an honor. We don't take it for granted. And learning that staying grounded and present does not mean you run away from problems. Face them head on. Deal with them one by one and conquer them all. Thank you so much, Mr. Gatuko. Maybe Mr. Wagaji, mentorship is a key component of the journey into leadership. Tell us your experience so that the students can learn that mentorship plays a key role. And Sister Alice, I remember we started a mentorship program. I'm not sure where it ended. It's somewhere in the air. Mentorship, Mr. Wagaji.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just like as I've said before, mentorship is at the core of leadership because the impact that you have in your team is the impact that remains to show the depth of your work. So as you work with people, ensure that you encourage them, you ensure that you listen to them, you ensure that they listen to you, and you make sure that they can fit into your shoes. And it's much more important in communication, as I've told you, because of the challenges. Because one of the why communication is unique is that it is the only field where you must keep reading, because you become irrelevant very fast, because the information in this world keeps changing. Even technology around communication keeps changing so much, such that if you're not on top of things, and that is where you maintain your mentorship and your leadership. Because if you're overtaken by events, you become irrelevant. Because when you become irrelevant, because you're dealing with the professionals, you know. Margaret, by the way, Margaret is my mentor. I worked under her. Margaret Maranga, you can stand up.
Up for Margaret. A round of applause for Margaret.
When I was at the university, when I left, I was posted. It was first part of as part of the training. I went for industrial attachment at BAT, and Margaret was in that department, so she showed me the ropes. So what I'm saying, the mentorship that she gave me is what has pushed me into the industry, because and has made me realize that you must keep being on top of things, because you work with people of different professions. At the university, you work with professors. I've been in agriculture, where I was in the Parethram Board of Kenya. You find that you are dealing with professionals in agriculture at the ministry. Some of them are professors. So first of all, they believe that communication might not be very important. So you try to push that your field is worthwhile and it's not measurable. You know, you can't. And Professor, let's look at a way of making sure that the universities partner with professions, so that the professionals can be able to be part of the mentorship program in universities. Because when people come from a university, they take themselves to be at a certain level in their profession. Then you come here with another profession, and then you are able to you want to tell them what to do. They get very hostile. So communication suffers that. So as part of mentorship, you must keep advising people. But let's look at leadership and mentorship as a concept. And that's one thing I've learned from the university, so allow me to use such heavy words as concept. So that it's a concept that you must understand, and you as a concept that adds value. And looking at it from the point of view of what our St. Vincent de Paul would do is that I see St. Vincent as a man who didn't wait for a big office or a big title to serve. He simply asked, what is the need before me, and how can I respond? That spirit speaks to all of us as communicators and as students and as mentors. Then the other things is, the other important thing is, on mentorship and leadership, it's how we deal with people. And this forms part of communication and motivation. So as a professional, as a mentor, you always want to ask the question that what contribution do I make, and believe that leadership is less about giving instructions. It is more about creating conversations like what we are doing here. So, and going by the Vincentian model, who say that we walk with the talk. So, as we mentor those who work with us, as we communicate, as we lead, let us listen more. Let us not give instructions. Let us act on what can help others to follow our footsteps and help others to have a positive and lasting impact on those we come across. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wagaji. And finally, Dr. Jen Weru, leadership is about inclusion, identity, and purpose. I think being a lady also in a space that is male-dominated and highly competitive space, I think you can give us an insight into how you stay grounded and fit into that leadership space, because maybe some people might feel leadership is not for me, it's for others.
Thank you so much. One thing that I've always held very firmly is that I do not want to be considered for any position because I happen to be a lady. I believe in competing in a space that we are all playing at the level ground, and I want to be considered because of what I have, what capabilities that I can provide for the space that I'm being required to take action. Inclusivity is key in many ways, and especially in the places of work where we are. You realize that there are people who have a lot to offer, but they're not given an opportunity. So as a leader, what are you supposed to do to ensure that such people, you bring them on board? Your leadership skills and capabilities as a leader is to ensure that you include everyone. Open your heart, open your mind for everyone, and be able to identify. I talked about emotional intelligence, whereby you're supposed to identify the weaknesses, the challenges that each one of the persons that you're serving, that you're working for have, so that you'll be able to include them as required. In the Bureau, we have data that we collect. We collect data on gender, and that data is necessary to help whoever is making decisions to see what they can do to include everyone. We also carry out data on poverty levels and many other types. There's a data that we have started collecting on time use. Time use survey establishes those people who are working, especially in households, and that time is not accounted for. And this basically is for women or ladies who work at home. Some of them are housewives. Others, I'm going to the office, I'm working, and then when I go home, I'll be expected to do a lot of chores in the house, and that work is not accounted for. And at the end of the day, actually, that data is not there to even contribute to the GDP. So for inclusivity purposes, I would say is that it's driven by people making firm decisions based on available data to make decisions that will include everyone. And I've talked about inclusivity in the workplace. What HR practices are you using to ensure that you do not leave out anyone? There are people who are good at writing papers. That's like Mwalimu was saying here, that there are people who cannot stand in front of others. But the kind of information they are going to provide for you by just sitting and writing. So as a leader, are you able to identify such skills from your subjects? So make sure that all the time you are on point in determining people who are marginalized in the society where you are, people who are not included because they don't have that capability, or they don't have that confidence to actually bring themselves out. Yeah, thank you.
Can you allow me a little bit to emphasize on what he said about mentorship? I just wanted to add what we call peer mentorship. He has talked about mentorship from the level of a leader mentoring the others. But from our own small ways, I think we should practice peer mentorship to mentor each other. Let me give an example. A class of 20 students, they may be able to understand each other very well, understand the weaknesses and the strength of others. And so, if they see someone is very weak, they are quick to recognize, to realize more than me, the lecturer. So if we are going to become leaders, let us start from small ways. We mentor each other from where we are. I usually get opportunities to talk to people in formation in religious life. And I always tell them, especially the novices, when you are being formed, even before the formator come to realize the problem, you amongst yourself, you are supposed to have recognized the problem and actually even solve it before she or he even get to know it. So the peer mentorship is very important and is very vital, and it helps more than even getting mentorship from people who are on top of you in leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gatuku. Finally, is there a quote or a book that you'd encourage us to read, or a philosophy that has influenced your leadership, Dr. Beru?
I have a very interesting quote that I'm now very new at it because I've joined the Bureau, and it's about data. And it says that there's somebody called Edward Deming that in God we trust, the rest must bring data. So my interpretation of this quote is that in God we trust, definitely. There's nothing, God is above board. But for us, we have to ensure that whatever decisions we make, they must be informed by some form of information and data. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gatuku?
I have two quotes that I love so much. One is from our Cardinal, the Archbishop Emeritus of Nairobi, Cardinal John Jue. Kila wakati akiongea anasema tumetoka mbali, tuko mbali, na tunaelekea mbali. I love that. We are coming from far. We are still far, but we are heading far.
Thank you so much.
I really follow that. Then there is a middle-aged saint who said, let us not strive to do extraordinary things. Let us do ordinary things, but extraordinarily well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, mine, I would like to marry the thoughts of St. Vincent and the philosophy that has informed my leadership style, which is that's how we lead with impact for impact. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. For me, John Maxwell, leadership rises. Everything rises and falls with the leader. I'm wondering which space you're sitting in as a leader that you will make choices. As we come to the end, my name is Florence Ochanda, Center for Leadership and Management. Thank you so much as we applaud our guests. Thank you so much.
Wow, let us give them another loud of applause. All right, that is fantastic. Thank you so very much. Madam Florence Okeke, thank you so much for that. Madam Jane, God bless you for that. Mr. Gatuku, and finally, Mr. Stephen. That was profound. I know this is just a pause, because please let us be seated. The next that we are organizing in 2026, we shall have a moment to ask and interact question. Ms. Florence, we know that the journey has just begun. And I like the philosophy of Mr. Gatuku, that indeed we have shown up. Let me hear information here. Let me get what you say. I tell you, I have the Holy Spirit. And these guys have seen what I was saying. At least in as much as you are seated there, there are people who are probably burning with question. And you're only taking 2 or 3. And then it's a direct answer. So maybe one question can take maybe 2 minutes. So let me hear questions here. And then we hear, there is a mic going on. Please, just raise your hand. There is one hand there. Another person, 2 or 3 questions. Straightforward. Please stand up, sir. Thank you. And it's not addressed to anyone. Any one of them can answer. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm called Boniface Angelo, a student of leadership and management first year, a South Sudanese. My question goes to our leaders. I would like just to know that which strategies are you using to ensure that all these impacts remain positive and sustainable, more especially for us as students, and how can we benefit from it, more especially when it comes to internship or at community level?
Thank you so very much. That's a question of sustainability on what we have talked about. I don't know if you're going to answer right now or we collect and then, but let us, moto, Sindio. All right, please, anyone? Mr. Gatuku, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I think one of the things that we do in leadership is what we call ethical leadership. And that is why we have a very good master's program on ethics, is it? So if you have to sustain any kind of thing you are doing, you must be ethical. And the word ethics will also be translated to be morals, morality. Morality is very important in leadership. Wherever you are, whatever it you are doing, you must be morally upright. You must be an ethical person, such that even if you don't have money, even if you don't have, at least you have good morals, and people can point at you and say, this person really can lead. So me, I think ethical background, morality is very important for leadership. To answer that question, I don't know whether there was the next part anybody can tackle.
All right, we are live. We are live in TV, so anytime you are approaching, these camera guys, I can see them, look at them, because United Kingdom is watching. All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Gatuku, for that. That's a good response. Any other person? A quick one? Because there's a mic going on. A quick one. All right. As they think, I have one, personally. I wrote it when you guys were addressing. Now, my question is, how do you navigate through the space of going against your superior and your seniors? We've seen cases in this country where people have said, I was told to do this, and when I refused, we went at loggerhead. What is the place of leadership in all that? Back to you. I don't know who is going to respond to that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that is the core of the leadership discussion we've been having about around here. And that is the problem that we face as a society. Because what Mwalimu was talking about, ethical leadership, why I was talking about professionalism is that you are empowered by the profession. When you talk about ethical leadership, you define a profession. What is a profession? When does work become a profession? It means there are certain principles that guide it. There are certain ethical issues that guide it. So that should be your guiding parameter, or your guiding North Star. So the problem that we have is that people tend to fear their superiors because they are not ethical. You are looking at the work that you do as a favor. You're thinking that if you say this, you'll be fired. And that's why we have a lot of problems with that advisors, because you are a whole advisor. That's the title you hold. You're supposed to tell the person that what you're doing is wrong, so if you want to succeed, then you should do the right thing. And then the advisor is not saying that because they're scared they'll be fired. No, then that's not ethical leadership. So the question of getting into conflict or going against your superior or your supervisor is based on that ethics. And I started by saying that I worked through several supervisors until I worked for the Office of the Control of Budget, where the boss is not the control of budget only. The boss is the people of Kenya. So if what you're doing is right, and you advise them that this is what you say, and you read, we criticize the government all the time, and I'm the one who issues those statements because I'm in charge of communication. So we say these people have overspent in buying tea and all that. And sometimes the PS or the CS for finance or whatever would call you and say, who is this guy who's releasing all these things? So if you know that the people who have employed you are the people of Kenya, you tell him, well, we are employed to write a report. You gave us your expenditure, we read, and so that you spent so much. So that's all we did. So the person who trained me in journalism, because my training background is journalism, University of Nairobi, so told me that say the truth and be damned, so that if the truth is what will set you free, please say it. That is the cardinal principle of journalism. Thank you.
John, two things. Be bold, hold the bull at the horn, irrespective of whether you'll be fired or not. And I'm saying that when my boss is here.
Wow. You know, this is very powerful. And there is an energy that is rising in this room, and especially in the dispensation of the Gen Zs. But there is something that is really coming up, that be fired, but stand by your morals. History will judge you right. And on the other side, we have the last person to ask a question. Please, sir, introduce yourself even as you ask the question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a question. My name is Bernard Jugona, Registrar University of Nairobi. Steve, thank you very much. We were schoolmates at the School of Journalism.
Thank you.
Dr. Vero, thank you very much indeed. I listened to you. Mr. Kiaria Kamau, my own colleague, Gatuku, and the others. Thank you very much. This is a beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You know, C.S. Lewis will tell us that, you know, as much as we think knowledge is good, without morals it's like a devil, you know?
Yes.
And I know I'm in a Christian-based organization, Tagasa Fumbra Imani.
Yes.
The aspect which was raised of peer mentorship by Gatuku is especially to our young people, because the good book, Bible tells us that, of course, Whatever it is, you teach the child the right thing and you'll never go astray.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tagaza University, for this kind of initiative. Let it not just end here. Musimame huko juu mutangaze, because you also Tagaza. I wanted to be here early enough, but of course, with poor leadership and decision making, putting up, a bridge, on a Friday, and especially today is a Friday.
Yes.
I couldn't make it earlier than this. And then, of course, it started leading. Then all the Namibians become now mad. Just be so.
Thank you so very much.
That's just a comment.
Let us appreciate this man. Thank you, sir. That is profound. I told you the fire in the room would not allow him to sit down. And please let us allow the last person, in the interest of time, Mr. Remind me your name, sir.
Muredi.
Mr. Muredi, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Mine, I'm standing here. I'm an alumni of Tangaza through Amani. I'm standing on a pedestal of counseling psychology. This is the month of suicide awareness. I really just wanted to comment on what Mwalimu said. He was very powerful in saying that when things are bad, you stay where you are. Yeah. And MC, you said something about Gen Zs and being a voice for the place. So I also want to just encourage that we stay. Our gentleman here said the bridge was being constructed, that's why he couldn't make it.
Yes.
But let's stay in this country despite the decisions being made. Let's stay there when it's good, when it is bad, and even now when we feel it is bad, let's stay strong. And for the suicide awareness, let's encourage each other. We be brothers and sisters for one another so that we don't exit just because it's bad. In fact, when it's bad is when it is the most sweetest. Wow. Asanteni.
Asante sana. That is it. That is it. In the interest of time, I guess we are good. But remember, we can continue this conversation in our Twitter handle, hashtag the St. Vincent de Paul. Continue the conversation. Because one person said that the world does not suffer because of the action of the evil people, but because of the silence of the good ones. We cannot keep silent. We have to continue championing the morals, the principles that St. Vincent de Paul held. Wow. Now we have to end that conversation, even as we enter into another moment, because remember, we have not had the keynote speaker. But before that, because the room is really still, we have people who have been very vocal in this journey. And these are none other than the de Paul fathers. And we can have to give them a moment. And of course, please, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Father Benson Odhiambo, Benson Odhiambo, and then he's going to tell us a word or two. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate this man of God. Karibu sana. Welcome, sir. Please take the podium. Thank you so much. You are really clapping so slow. We can do that. Thank you, sir. Asante.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, pilgrims of hope, together in prayer. It's a wonderful moment to be here this afternoon, to be able to celebrate a great man who not only served God, but also brought a difference in the life of the poor people whom he served in France many years ago. And there's one thing that stands out for me from this great man whom we are celebrating today. And I think that goes hand in hand with what has just been shared here. St. Vincent always will say, it is not enough to do good, but it has to be done well. And I think that is what has been shared here, that is not just enough to be a leader, but to be a leader with integrity, a leader who can stand the test of time. And I think that is what it means. It's not about just doing good, but are you able to do that good in the right way? and stand by that good, come what may. And I think that good that St. Vincent stood for has stood the test of time. Many years, 365 years after his death, we are still talking about him, because indeed he left a legacy of service. And I think the center that has invited us here today continues that legacy to this very day, as we celebrate his life and legacy a day before the actual day, which is tomorrow, 27th of September. Every single year, St. Vincent remains a beacon of hope for many people who continue to follow in his footsteps. And so I want to urge each and every one of us gathered here, and many of you are leaders, that we may emulate this great servant of God whose legacy lives on. More than for us this year, we are celebrating 400 years of our foundation, and we were founded by St. Vincent de Paul. So it's for us a great year to celebrate. Those are many centuries ago. We are still able to stand here today because of this great man, St. Vincent de Paul. And so even after everything is said and done, let us stand the test of time. Let us carry on the mantle of the Center for Leadership and Management beyond Tangaza. Let us carry this, because this is what we are celebrating today. We are celebrating a legacy that lasts the test of time. Let us last the test of time even after Tangaza. I think with those remarks, I want to appreciate Tangaza for carrying on this mantle through the leadership of VC here, Professor Mwanya. He was my professor here not so many years ago, I think more than 10 years ago now. And also Sister Alice for carrying this legacy. I want to wish you all the best, and hoping that we'll continue to partner to train future leaders who are going to carry on the mantle of St. Vincent de Paul to the next generation. God bless you. God bless CLM. God bless Tangaza.
Thank you so very much, Father Benson. That was indeed amazing. The trickle-down effect. Tell your neighbor the trickle-down effect. 400 years ago, if St. Vincent de Paul can wake up and find we are here, oh man, that guy is going to be proud. He's going to be like, wow, it is the legacy. Now, we want to engage into a moment where we need to engage our keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all stand up kindly, because it is the moment to really get to the apex of all this. We want to get to the apex of all this. And as I introduce this, the gentleman will walk into the podium, and because it is very, very important. Let's have that on the screen, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, meet the CEO of the leading publishing house in East and Central Africa, who is the chair of Kenya Publishers Association, the KPA. He's also a board member of APNET, an African Books Collective that is in the UK. He's also a member of International Publishers Association, CPWG, advocate of digital publishing and AI in the publishing industry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the managing director and the CEO of East African Educational Publishers. Ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate and welcome this amazing man. We can do better. Karibu sana. You are most welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Karibu sana. We can all be seated.
Thank you very much, Bwana MC. The Vice Chancellor, Tangaza University, Professor Mwania, distinguished faculty, the religious leaders in the house, students, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say it is a profound honor on my part to be invited today to address such a distinguished gathering, and especially coming as it does during what in the publishing fraternity we call the Book Week. We are holding this week the Nairobi International Book Fair at the Sarit Center in Westlands. It's running up to Sunday. We had the official opening ceremony yesterday. And when I got the opportunity of addressing this gathering during the Book Week, I said it could not have come at a better time, because we appreciate that traditionally the academy and the publisher are intertwined. They are actually tied at the hip. So when we in the publishing world get to interact with the academy, we are always delighted. We are always happy to be associated with a gathering such as this. I will therefore urge you to get some time, visit the Sarit Center, Nairobi International Book Fair, interact with the various products that are on display, and even join us during the closing ceremony. Vice Chancellor, you'll be happy to note that your counterpart at KUEA, the Catholic University of East Africa, Professor Mbogwa, will be the chief guest at the closing ceremony tomorrow evening. And we believe that next year, when we hold the same ceremony, we shall invite you, and I'm sure that you will honor that invitation. I'm deeply grateful to Tangaza University for extending this invitation and for affording me the opportunity to reflect with you upon this theme, heritage, horizons, and hope in the 21st century learning environment. Today is not merely a commemoration of a historical figure. Today is a moment of reflection, a moment of remembrance, a moment of renewal. It is a time to draw inspiration from St. Vincent, his life and legacy, and to ask ourselves what his witness means to us as educators, as students, as religious leaders, and as citizens of a world which is confronted by unprecedented challenges, yet still having remarkable opportunities. Too often, when we think of saints, what comes to mind is the image of a serene, distant figure, immortalized in stained glass windows, forever pious and placid. Yet, St. Vincent de Paul shatters that stereotype. His life was not one of passive holiness, but one of active engagement. And the discussion that happened a few minutes here indeed demonstrated that. St. Vincent was born of poor peasant parents, endured poverty and hardships of his time. He was even kidnapped by pirates and sold into slavery in Tunis, escaped through courage and faith, and managed to return to France, which was already devastated by war, famine, and social inequality. Instead of retreating into safety, he decided to roll up his sleeves and confronted suffering with remarkable courage and resilience. St. Vincent de Paul organized relief efforts for peasants who were already emasculated by war. He reformed the clergy, cared for the abandoned children, and established institutions that continue to serve the poor to date. His life reminds us that heritage is not simply about preserving the past as a museum piece. It is about living tradition. It is a dynamic inheritance that calls action upon us. It is about allowing the values of compassion, charity, justice, and faith to shape how we respond to the real needs of our time. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the faculty, you will allow me to relate the life and times and the legacy of St. Vincent de Paul with other human beings who have impacted this world in their various ways. In another part of the world, and years before St. Vincent was born, Gautama Buddha postulated that if your compassion does not include yourself, then it is incomplete. He was born in the present-day Nepal, experienced a transformation in his life which made him to renounce his royal life and its attendant luxuries in order to seek answers to the problem of human suffering. Today, Gautama Buddha is revered and remembered for discovering and teaching a path to spiritual awakening, freedom from suffering, and inner peace. Little wonder that Buddhism, even today, emphasizes that wisdom and compassion must go hand in hand. Now, closer to where St. Vincent de Paul was born was a renowned German philosopher, Immanuel Kant, very well known for what he called the categorical imperative. He was born 140 years before St. Vincent de Paul, and in his categorical imperative, Immanuel Kant postulated that only according to that maxim, whereby you can, at the same time, will that it should be a universal law. Before acting, ask yourself, what if everyone did what I am about to do? If making your action to be universal would lead to contradiction or it would undermine morality, then your action is immoral. According to Immanuel Kant, only categorical imperatives form the basis of true morality. He envisaged a society where people would be guided by rational laws, a society that respects all human beings irrespective of their stations in life, and a society that acts in order to make morality and respect for all human beings to be the universal guiding line, hence the categorical imperative. Now, it's gratifying that we are at a university that has got a relationship with the Catholic Church. And we are happy to now link the life of St. Vincent de Paul with the life of Jesus Christ. He is the very embodiment of a virtuous life, a life defined by the desire to ease human suffering, a life guided by the vision of making morality a universal principle for humankind. Throughout his ministry, he demonstrated profound compassion for the suffering and the broken. And time again, he declared that his mission was one of restoration. We have quite a number of verses that we can quote. We shall not quote them because of the interest of time, but we shall be happy to share this with the Vice Chancellor so that we can interrelate these quotations with the life and legacy of St. Vincent de Paul. Now, closer home, here in Kenya, we do recall Sister Irene Stephanie, affectionately referred to as Nyadha by the Agikuyu community in Nyeri, owing to her life of service and compassion towards the poor, the sick, and the vulnerable. Having trained as a nurse, she consciously and deliberately chose to identify with the sick, often walking long distances to reach remote villages while carrying medicine and offering comfort to those who needed comfort. Her selflessness, her kindness, and her compassion endeared her to the community she served, thereby earning her the nickname Nyadha, which is a coinage of the Gikuyu term Nyinawadha, meaning mother of mercy or mother of compassion. Sadly, she died at the very early age of 39, having contracted bubonic plague, because some accounts say that she was actually doing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for her compassion, for her love, and for her faith. We all should recall that Sister Nyadha earned her place in history when she was beatified by the Catholic Church in 2015 through an elaborate function that was broadcast throughout the world. Like St. Vincent de Paul, Sister Nyadha stood as a radiant example of a life wholly given in service to others. Today, her memory reminds us that true education, true leadership, and true faith must always carry with them a redeeming value, the easing of human suffering, the uplifting of human dignity. While still in Kenya, the Vice-Chancellor allowed me to relate a bit the life of the late Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who passed away in May this year, a renowned literary luminary, not just in Kenya, in Africa, but also throughout the world. Ngugi is best known for his association with what Karl Marx called the proletariat, the peasants and workers. Through mobilization of the local community, Ngugi set up the Moshie wa Muige, the Kameredo Community and Cultural Center back in the 1970s, just a stone throw away from where we are in Lemuru. His desire was to promote community theater, tap into community talent, nurture and develop the talent with a view to enlightening the community and helping them earn a decent living. He also introduced adult classes, what we call Gubaru, enabling many adults who had not gone to school to learn how to read and write. This sense of community building, participation, and engagement is embodied in his memoir, Detained, A Writer's Prison Diary, where he says, to speak for, write for, and fight for the peasants and workers is the highest call of patriotic duty. Again, identifying with the downtrodden, what Frantz Fanon referred to as the wretched of the earth. Having reflected on the lives and legacies of these individuals, whose virtue enabled them to profoundly impact the societies they served, it is now important to ask ourselves, what does their heritage mean for us today? What does the heritage of St. Vincent de Paul, that of Gautama Buddha, that of Jesus Christ, that of Ngugi wa Thiong'o, what do they mean to us? What lasting gifts have they bequeathed upon us? What enduring values and responsibilities have they bequeathed to subsequent generations? Heritage gives us roots. For St. Vincent, heritage was not simply his rural upbringing or his Catholic faith, but conviction that every person, no matter how poor or forgotten, is worthy of dignity and care. This conviction became the animating principle of his life. For us, here today, heritage in education means honoring the wisdom of those who came before us, the teachers, reformers, the visionaries who believed that learning is not merely about filling minds with facts and reason, but about molding human beings who can contribute to the common good. But heritage is not merely nostalgia. It is a responsibility. In a globalized world where traditions can easily be eroded by the forces of commercialization, it is upon us, we, the educators, we, the publishers, the institutions such as Tangaza University, to keep alive the stories, the values, and the knowledge systems that give meaning to our existence. Heritage roots us, but horizons call us forward. St. Vincent was not afraid to break molds and expand possibilities. I want to mention a bit about we at East African Educational Publishers and the works that we publish and how this relates to heritage and horizons, as well as hope in the 21st century learning. At East African Educational Publishers, we see this heritage reflected in our commitment to publishing literature that affirms identity, celebrates African voices, and preserves indigenous knowledge. We believe that education is richer when it is rooted in local realities and cultural narratives. We are delighted every time our books resonate with our readers, when the readers of our books can see themselves, their families, their environment, and their communities reflected in what they have read. But these books should also have what is very important, a redeeming value. They should celebrate morality. They should project a life of virtue. Today, here at Tangaza University, we are challenged to expand the horizons of education. The 21st century learning environment is more interconnected, more digital, and more dynamic than ever before. The classroom as we knew it is no longer confined to just merely the four walls. It is global, it is virtual, it is collaborative. The traditional conception of the teacher as the all-knowing authority dispensing knowledge to passive recipients is no longer in vogue. In contemporary learning environments, students are expected to question, students are expected to challenge, they are expected to critically interrogate ideas. Correspondingly, the role of the teacher is to stimulate debate, to create space for multiple perspectives, and to foster a culture of respect for diversity of thought. By expanding horizons, but expanding horizons also means expanding who gets to participate. Education must be inclusive, and that was also mentioned by the panelists a few minutes ago. Just as St. Vincent worked to include those who were left out, that is the poor, the sick, and the orphaned, we here at Tangaza University and beyond are called upon to make education a place where no one is excluded. This is what it means to broaden the horizon of possibility, to imagine a future where every learner has a chance to thrive. As such, education must empower girls and boys alike, persons with disabilities, and the marginalized communities. It must give learners the tools to tackle climate change, economic inequality, and social injustice. Now, heritage roots us, horizons beckon us forward. But what sustains us is hope. Again, the motif of hope came up during the discussion that was here. St. Vincent lived through wars, plagues, and personal disappointments, but he never lost hope. He believed that charity and justice, when pursued together, could transform society. In today's context, hope is perhaps the most essential element of education. We live in a time of rapid change, artificial intelligence, and you'll be happy to note that artificial intelligence is forming a great part of the discussions that we are having at the Sarit Center, at the Nairobi International Book Fair, looking at how it is impacting publishing, education, and looking at both its ethical as well as its legal implications. Is it an enabler, or is it a disruptor of livelihoods? Those are discussions that are happening as we speak. Climate change, crisis, political instability, among others. It is easy for young people, students at Tangaza University and others, to feel anxious or cynical about the future. Education must therefore do more than transfer knowledge. It must cultivate resilience, moral courage, and a vision of possibility. It must help learners believe that they can be agents of change, that they can shape a future that is more just, more sustainable, and more compassionate. The element of sustainability, again, very important. As educators, as publishers, and leaders, we must model hope by the way we speak, the way we innovate, the way we collaborate across differences. Hope is contagious. When a learner sees that we believe in their potential, they begin to believe in themselves. As we celebrate the feast of St. Vincent de Paul today. Let us not leave this hall unchanged. Heritage, horizons, and hope are not abstract concepts. They are marching orders. In military lingo, there are those marching orders. So we are giving those marching orders that these are not abstract concepts that we are sharing today. They are marching orders. Heritage calls us to honor the dignity of every person, to keep alive the wisdom that has shaped us. Horizons challenge us to break down barriers, embrace innovation, and widen access to education for all. Hope invites us to persevere together, even when the road is difficult, believing that transformation is possible. Vice Chancellor, may this celebration inspire all of us, the faculty, the students, and even the common mwananchi, to work together for a future where education is truly transformative, a future with endless possibilities. Like St. Vincent de Paul, let us respond to that future with compassion, courage, creativity, resilience, and with our focus being a life of virtue. Now, my parting shot, the Vice Chancellor. This keynote address is anchored on the following dictum: that knowledge that is devoid of compassion is hollow. Education must have a redeeming value, and this value must, of necessity, focus on easing human suffering. On this day of the celebration of the feast of St. Vincent de Paul, I urge all of us, go forth and recapture and redefine the future. Let us have a redeeming value for everything that we do. Asanteni sana. Just a small request that we'll ask the MC to allow me to hand over the Kenya Publishers Association magazine called Book News. You will interact with it. You will get to know what we do in the publishing industry.
Absolutely. Let us appreciate our keynote speaker, Mr. Kamau Kiarie, as he hands over to our VC. We can do better. Makofi. Asante. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kiarie Kamau. We have not only learned that you are so much knowledgeable about these matters, you are also generous. So he has shown us the way of St. Vincent de Paul. Let us appreciate Mr. Kiarie Kamau as he sits down. We cannot appreciate you enough. Asante sana. Makofi moja, mbili, tatu, nne, tano. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So, Mr. VC, I should also visit you one of these fine days, and then I have a touch of what is written there. Okay, thank you. After having such conversation, and after such a lengthy, expose of what St. Vincent de Paul did from Mr. Kiarie Kamau, we can only have a moment of appreciation. And I guess he has opened the door. Now that he has given us something, let us also give him something. All right? So I know we are so ready. My mom, Sister Margaret, we are so ready for this. We have some gifts for these amazing people and all that they have done to us today. We want to have...
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. In the spirit of St. Vincent, we also want to appreciate our visitors and our guests. And I request Sister Anna and colleague to bring the gifts. And then I request our VC and our director to please assist us in giving out these gifts. Karibuni sana.
So please, the rest of us will be clapping. After the handover, we clap. Not now. Who is that clapping?
Thank you.
Yes. After the handover, we clap.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we are live in the United Kingdom. you know, it's very important.
Okay. So we will start with our keynote speaker, Mr. Kiaria Kamau. A small token of appreciation.
Let us appreciate Mr. Kiaria Kamau.
Thank you so much, sir. We hope to continue with the collaboration. Thank you. Then our very own Mr. Stephen Wangaji, tafadhali. Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you. Then we have Dr. Jen Weru. Thank you. Thank you, madam. And now, Mr. James Gatuko. And our able panel moderator, Mrs. Florence Okeke. Thank you so much, Florence. Allow me to finish the list so that I don't come back. We have a special guest by the name Father Benson, the visitator of the Congregation of the Mission. And thank you so much. Thank you, Father. And our good neighbor and friend, Mr. Samora. Thank you so much. We have tested the good music by our very lady, Miss Paola, the saxophonist. We want you to remember us, please.
Wonderful. Let us appreciate her.
Thank you so much. They're finished? Okay. I thought I had more, but it's okay. All right. I think I'll come back with the rest. Are they still there? Okay, yeah. I thought they were more than that. Okay. Johnny, you have not finished your work, but you can come, please. We appreciate you.
Appreciate the MC.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much. And now, Sister Alice, we would like you to gift our VC, please. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Asante. Asante sana, Father. Thank you. And the two of you, we are requesting you to gift our Dean, Dr. Cecilia, Dean, School of Arts and Social Sciences. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just gestures of love, appreciation. We wish we could give more. Asante sana. Thank you, John.
I thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And we have something for Sister Margaret. Yes. Sister Margaret, we have something for you. Because, wait, mwalimu unaenda wapi? Si mimi ni MC. Margaret Maraga, kindly come. Kuja Magi. You know, these are two namesake. I want you to give this lady a good hug. A good hug. This lady has done tremendous. Please give her a good hug. That is how much we love you, Sister Margaret. And we thank you so much for what you have done. You have worked out tirelessly to make sure this has happened. And I know, you know why I've called Maraga? Because I know, and you know, it is from the heart. So it is genuine. Mwalimu, we love you. Let us appreciate her as she sits down, because I see now it's a moment to eat. We need to cut the cake. And I have seen there is a tray here. Or this tray is not for cake. Okay, maybe it is. But we need to have a moment of cake. So DJ, give me that, because you need to bite something. And when you hear cake, definitely it means that we are coming to the end of all this. But the cake is so ready, and it's ready to be feasted by you and me. All right, DJ. Sorry, let me introduce to us this amazing lady. She's going to tell us her name. She's the lead of cutting the cake. So apigwe makofi. Asante, karibu sana.
So, as we wait for the setup, I want to call those who will help us cut the cake. So if you hear a name, just come and join us here. Our guest speaker, our VC, our CLM director, Mr. Gennaro, and Olivia, and then Father Benson. So as they cut the cake, do we remember the theme? Ama, we've forgotten the theme? Yeah, that one. So we'll help in saying the theme, which is heritage, horizons, and hope. Okay? And then ushers will be around to help us serve the cake. Ushers. So we are ready? Okay, DJ, you can put a pause. So let's hold the knife together. So ready, we go. Let's help in saying the theme. One is heritage, horizons and hope in the 21st century.
Yes.
Again, as they cut another round, heritage, horizons and hope in the 21st century. Again, they cut heritage, horizons and hope in the 21st century. So if you love cake like I do, I know you're excited. Thank you so much. Let's clap for them. They will help us cut. So thank you. You can have your seat as we serve you the cake. So ushers, you can come around so that we can serve.